Hi guys, this is Jonathan Lambert with the Mathematics Development and Support Service at the National College of Ireland. And this short video is going to detail how to undertake a, a paired samples t-test within SPSS, or what's also known as a dependent samples t-test. And like in the previous videos, the data set that we're going to rely upon for this particular test is the employee data set that's available in the samples folder that comes pre-packaged with SPSS. Okay, so maybe just a quick overview of the data set itself. Okay, there are, I suppose there are 400. Okay, there are 474 records in this particular data set. Each record represents the characteristics of particular employees within this particular organization. The first column here, or the first variable, is just an ID number associated with the individuals, with the employees. The second column represents their gender. The next column, their birth date. Their education status, their job category within this particular organization, job category having 3 levels: clerical, manager, and custodial. Their current salary, their salary when they began to work in this particular organization. Job time, representing the variable of how many months have they accrued within this particular organization. So it's how long are they working in the organization in months. Previous experience, prev exp, previous experience represents, I suppose, how many months previous experience had they got before joining this particular organization. Okay, but I mean, for this particular video, we're going to concentrate on two variables: the current salary and also the beginning salary for individuals. Okay, so for example, this particular record here, record 5, ID number 465. Is a male that was born in 1962. It's a clerical officer, current salary being $33,900, beginning salary being $16,500. Is 64 months in this particular organization. Previous experience before joining the organization, he had 106 months previous experience. Okay? The question that we're trying to ask, or the question that we're trying to ascertain, is there a difference, okay, between a particular employees, or between employees within this particular organization, between current salary and starting salary? Okay, is there a significant difference between them? Okay, now to undertake this particular test, what we'll do is we'll go to the Analyze tab, okay, or the Analyze drop-down list. Okay, we'll go to Compare Means, and we'll choose what's listed here under Compare Means as a paired samples t-test, also known as a dependent samples t-test. Okay, so we'll click on paired samples t-test, and we get another pop-up window, and this pop-up window allows us to, I suppose, to identify which variables we want to test the difference between. Okay, so the first variable is, typically when the paired samples t-test is undertaken, a calculation is done behind the scenes, which is, I suppose, it's variable 1 minus variable 2. So if variable 1 is higher than variable 2, the difference between them is going to be positive. If variable 1 is less than variable 2, the difference between them is going to be negative. So just keep that in mind, yeah, in relation to this particular test. So what we want to do is we want to see whether there's a difference between current salary. Okay, we put that in as the first variable. Okay, and see whether there's a difference between starting salary or beginning salary. Okay, so if this comes out as positive, okay, it would indicate that there has been an increase in salary. Okay, because to be positive, current salary would have to be greater than beginning salary. If it comes out as negative, it would indicate that there's been a decrease in salaries. Okay, now I suppose we would expect naturally that salaries would increase with time. Okay, but let's not take into consideration any other parameters or constraints. Let's just use this as an example to run a paired samples t-test. Okay, so once we've specified the variables, okay, all we do is we just hit OK. So when we hit OK, we get a pop-up window, which is the output window within SPSS. That gives us a number of tables. Okay? The first table is the statistics associated with both samples. Okay? The second table is the correlation between both samples. And the third table, which is the important table for us, is the results of the paired samples t-test. Okay? But let's just have a look at the first table, which is the paired sample statistics. Okay. So when we look at current salary, we can see that the average current salary is $34,419. There's 474 observations. Okay. The standard deviation of current salary is $17,075, with a standard error of the mean of $784. Okay. The beginning salary, the average beginning salary is $17,000. Once again, there's 474 observations. Okay. But they're just descriptive statistics for us. The paired samples correlations, is testing whether there's an association or the strength of the association between current salary and beginning salary. And we're assuming that current salary is the dependent variable and is dependent on beginning salary being the independent variable. But the correlation is asymmetric. It is symmetric, so it doesn't matter which one we think of as dependent and independent. What we do get here is a correlation of 0.88, which is a strong correlation. And it's also statistically significant. It's less than 0.05. So what we've sort of assured here, is that our observations aren't, well, we've sort of eliminated our observations being by pure chance. Yeah, and that's not to say that they're not by pure chance, but we've eliminated them, I suppose, at the 5% significance level. So we'd be 95% certain, that the observations are real observations. But it is possible that the observations are still, I suppose, happened purely by chance. Okay? But what this is saying is there is an association between both of them, and it's positive. Yeah. Okay? So the next question that we'd like to answer is, okay, is the difference between current salary and beginning salary, is there a significant difference between those two values? Yeah. Okay? Has there been a change? Is there an effect? Okay? Now, when we look at the paired differences, okay, what we can actually see here is that the average difference between current and beginning salary is about $17,403. So that's quite a big difference, with a standard deviation of $10,814. Quite a big standard deviation as well. But there is a difference. There is a positive difference, average difference here between salaries. Okay? Going down to the results of the t-test, okay, the test statistic that's constructed is a t-statistic that's 35.036 with degrees of freedom of 473. We really want to go to the significance of this particular test, okay, which is being reported here as 0.000. Let's actually just maybe double click on the table, okay. We double click on this table, okay. What we can actually do is we can actually hover over this here, and you can actually see the number that we're actually getting out here in scientific notation is 1.6 by 10 to the minus 143. It's effectively 0, okay, which is less than 0.05, our typical level of significance that we set prior to running our tests. So let's just keep in mind what's going on here. So for every test that we undertake, there is a null hypothesis, okay, and there's an alternative hypothesis. We reject the null hypothesis if the reported significance or p-value is less than our set alpha value or significance level. In this case, we reject the null hypothesis if our significance, two-tailed here, is less than 0.05, which it clearly is. Okay? But what are we rejecting? Okay? So let's reflect on that once more. The null hypothesis with the vast majority of tests that we're going to do, is that there is no difference. Okay? So in this case here, what we're really saying is that the null position that we assume to be true when we undertake this particular test, is that there's no difference between current salary and beginning salary. Okay? In which case, the average distance between them should be around 0, which it isn't. It's being reported here as 17,000 on average. Okay? So let's just reflect on that once more. The null hypothesis is that there's no difference between current salary and beginning salary. Okay? The alternative hypothesis would be that there is a difference between current salary and beginning salary. Okay? And clearly our significance or our p-value is less than 0.05, and as such we will reject the null hypothesis in favour of the alternative. And we can now infer that there has been a change, there has been an effect between beginning salary and current salary, and that there is a difference. Okay? And more importantly, the difference has been positive. There has been a positive increase in relation to this particular difference. Okay. Now, we already seen earlier on that the correlation, the association between both of these variables is being reported as 0.880.